My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about what to do when you don't know what to do. That's right. Yesterday, I talked about how I'm kind of in this headspace where I feel like I'm hitting a brick wall, and it's because of the overwhelm, right? Because of the amount of content and that I'm publishing and producing, and feeling like I'm churning, while also not feeling like I'm moving the needle forward, right? So I'm feeling like I'm hitting my head against the wall. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I've added more to my plate. And then as a result of all of this, feeling like I'm an imposter, right? Feeling like maybe I don't have what it takes to try to do what what I've set out to do. Again, all in my head, all just stories I'm telling myself, deception patterns, because that's where I'm at in the cycle of performance, the cycle of growth. And so what do you do when you're in this situation, right? And so I want to give you my advice and kind of my process that I've developed over the years. The first thing is grow your awareness, right? If you have to have a pretty high level of awareness of self and you know the patterns and the things that are going on with your own mind, because if you don't, you won't be able to change them, right? The overwhelm, the imposter syndrome, all this head talk and stories can easily derail you, and you'll throw in the towel and you'll quit. And that's why people never make any progress, because they're not aware of the patterns, right? They're not aware of themselves enough. What you're aware of, you can change and control. What you're not aware of can change and control you. So raising that level of awareness is incredibly important. Again, it's a fundamental tenet of personal development for me. I think you know, self-awareness is it's hard to create any growth and change in your life without self-awareness. So that's number one. Be aware of the state of mind that you're in, and then as an extension of that, what phase you're in terms of the cycle of performance. The second thing is, let me look back on my notes. Well, have a game plan, right? I talked about this a few episodes back. You know, the inception phase, the honeymoon phase wears off, right? The enthusiasm, the excitement with that inception phase, the newness of the thing that you're doing will eventually wear off. So when that does wear off, it's important to have structure, right? And for me, you know, that looks like having a set calendar, having a set schedule on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis. So that way you have something to be accountable to. Right? Yeah, of course, you're going to want to quit. You're just going to want to sit in bed and watch Netflix and eat bonbons. However, the structure will keep you accountable, right? The plan will keep you accountable. That's what I always do. Yeah, have a game plan and run your play, regardless of how you feel about running that play, right? If even when you don't feel like doing the work, the game plan will do the work for you. Again, it keeps you accountable. And actually, what ends up happening is that, you know, the repeated daily activity and action develops into a habit, and so that game plan, that structure feeds into creating habits, and those habits also feed back into the daily game plan. So it's a nice positive feedback loop that you can create. Having a structure really helps you do that. Okay, so the last thing then is, well, you know, a lot of times when you're hitting, you know, when you feel like you've hit a brick wall, you're at an impasse. There's something that's missing in your equation, right? There's something that you need to add. Now, I want you to be really, really careful, however, of what you do add, because I've done this before in the past. Like what I've typically done is just added more of what I'm already doing, because I'm already super comfortable with the things that I'm currently doing. The unconscious mindset is, well, if I just do more, that'll move the needle, right? That'll get me through this brick wall that I've been knocking my head on for so long. That's not always the case, right? Adding more of what you're already doing actually has a greater potential to create even more overwhelm, because you're not only are you adding more tasks and work to your already heavy workload, but well, yeah, you're still going to be hitting your head against the wall, right? So you know, more work, no movement equals even more overwhelm, and that leads that's a higher potential to throwing in the towel, right? Throwing in the towel. So it's not so much that you need to add more of what you're already doing, but look at take a real, just kind of objective look at your structure, at your plan, at your you know, your entire marketing funnel, and see what's missing, right? See what's missing. For me, since this is an educational process, I definitely have taken this thing one step at a time, one aspect of marketing funnels at a time. I've gotten to a point where, I've got the content creation and publishing down, right? Like I'm good with that. Yes, I'll refine it as I go even more, and I'll get better at honing in those skills and growing my following organically. However, there's still like a bunch of other pieces of my funnel and my marketing that I need to put in place that I've been, largely avoiding because they intimidate me, right? Like I settled into the content creation because I'm super comfortable with content creation and publishing. And I've gotten even more comfortable with it. And there's the risk then, because I am comfortable with it, to do more of it. But I know that that's not the answer because I have a high level of awareness. The answer is throwing myself at the thing that intimidates me. And that is, creating opt-in pages, really focusing in on building my email list. I know I've touched on email lists before in the past. I've kind of scratched the surface, but I've largely avoided it, right? I haven't dove in fully because, again, it intimidates me. Why? Because it's foreign, because it's new. So for me, I like to lean in to those things that are foreign and that are scary, as opposed to doing more of what I'm already comfortable in, right? Again, for me, the very specific example is email list, opt-in pages, and really develop more of the back end of my marketing, right? Like the newsletter itself, et cetera, the free offerings, the program, the guide. I know. I keep talking about the guide. It's gotten much more complicated than I thought it was originally when I started it, but it's going to come out. It's going to come out. Trust me. I just don't have a date for it yet. So there's all that. What it looks like for you, I'm not sure. It just depends on where you are in your journey. Again, the main thing is it's really facing the thing that intimidates you and scares you the most, as opposed to doing more of what you're already comfortable with, right? That's how I like to look at what's missing in terms of my marketing, in terms of my business. It's not doing more work. It's what work do I need to focus on and add to the bigger picture, right? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And one way to do that is to look at your role models, right? Look at, like, for me, my just off the top of my head, you Brendan Burchards of the world, your Jenna Kutchers, your Mel Robbins. When I'm at an impasse, okay, all right, like I've gotten everything down where I'm at. Let me look at what they're doing. And the big piece is the email list, right? That's the biggest piece. That's the next big piece for me. Again, whatever it is for you, I'm not sure, but look to your role models, the people who have the results and the systems down, that you want to emulate, and see what piece of the puzzle you're missing, and then go attack it, right? Go attack it. So that's it. That's the message for today. What to do when you don't know what to do. Number one, raise your level of awareness. Number two, make sure you have a structure and a schedule or a plan in place so that you can run the play and let that structure do the work for you. And then number three, look to your role models and see what they're doing that you're not already you haven't already implemented in your strategies and in your marketing, right? So yeah, hopefully that helps. I know if you're not already in that phase of deception right now, it's still kind of early in the year, but you will hit it. Understand that it's okay, it's normal, and the tips that we talked about today are things that you can do to move you beyond that feeling stuck, right? Beyond that brick wall that you're staring straight at, and move into that next phase of growth in your marketing and in your business. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. More from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.